Alrighty, so this is monkey.blend. The way this works is there's a create camera script that I wrote. And what it does is if you see in here, there's a bunch of empties and a camera, right? So what's really cool is this script will generate it for you. So for instance, if I delete this, if I go B, select this, X, delete, and then if I do the play button, as you can see, it created the camera and the empties. And what's really cool here is if I hit play, you can see the monkey going all the way around. So what's happening here, it's creating the empties. And then for each empty, it's giving it a random axis. And the reason why I separated it out for the X, Y, and Z is that way I can do precise control. So it sets it all up. And then, of course, there is the track.py. So here's track 0, 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, for in range number of empties is 4. So I'm tracking the ear, eye, and eye. So that's what these circular empties are. So as you can see right here. So this is what it generates. And then once it generates this, right, you have to put the file where you want to save it to. In this case, it's the JSON file right here, which is this file right here. So that's what the track.json generates. And all it is essentially where these points are in a 2D space on the camera. So when we render out this as an image, this is what we'll see. And then you have to render out all the images. And as you can see here, where I render it to is the images folder right here. And once you open this up, it's an alpha transparent background. So it makes it really easy to do the next step. So what is the next step? So here, let me go ahead and close this. Don't save. Okay, so the next step that we want to do is we want to go over in here. As you can see, there's a lot of different files in here. Okay, so what is the next step? The next step is we're going to go here, alpha object detection, generate box data. So here it is. So here's the box saved to, and it's going to save the monkey box JSON. So this is what's going to generate the border, the frame folder, right? So if we go back here, here are the images, right? So this is alpha. And then we also need to generate with background, right? So once that renders out, so essentially what it's going to do is give it a background, which is just a black background because Dlib is not advanced enough to understand alpha transparent. So that is the basis for that, right? So we have the box saved to, the frame folder, and then the new frame, and then we put a black background behind it. And so once this generates, this is going to generate the monkey box right here. And then it's going to also generate the image with background. So going back over here, once we have that, right, now we want to combine the frame location box track. So if we open this guy up, all right, so we have, this is where it's going to save to as all data. We have the monkey box, and then we also have the images, frame folder, image with background. And what this does is it combines the data. So that way the location where the image is, and then also the box. Once we have that, once we have the all.json, which is located right here, the next thing we do is we do the generate XML. So in the generate XML, right, this actually generates exactly what we need. So what this does is we have our data, which is, I believe 10,000, yeah, 10,000. And over here, right, this is the size and this is the training ratio. So 0.7 is a pretty good training ratio. And based off of that, we can do the generate X training data and then the test data. So we separate those out and you can see them here. So we have the test data and the track and the train data. Also do a test track and box data. So I like doing this just for peace of mind to make sure everything's working. So if I do Python 3 test track and box data here, right? So the green box, right? That's the box data, and it's generated from the glob detection, right? Which means it's perfect, right? It's perfectly stable. And the next thing is the little dots, right? The little red dots is the monkey facial features that we want to train to track. So as you can see, when we're running this, we can just visually confirm that it's working. Okay, so now we go to the shape detector and shape predictor. Now the shape detector is what we can do to detect the monkey. So if we want to train it so that way it could detect a Blender monkey. Now I did this just to see how accurate it is, but the alpha transparent glob detection was a lot smoother. So I don't like doing that. What I like to do instead is the train shape predictor right here. So the train shape predictor, right, is the feature points. So we can train both of these. Once we train them, right, we have the SVM for the detector, and then we have the .dat for the predictor. So if we want to see how this actually works, right, so what we can do is we can do Python 3 test detector. And then as you can see, here's the green box. So this is being detected by Dlib. So Dlib, based off of the training data, is doing a boundary box around the monkey. And as you can see, it's okay. It's able to detect it, which is great. So we know it works, but it's not necessarily exactly what I wanted, right? It's kind of more of like a rough estimate where it is. So it kind of works. Okay, so what works really well is the other one, which is the predictor. And there we go. So as you can see, that looks really good. So it's solid, it's precise, it does a fantastic job doing the prediction of the facial features. So it's able to track the ears and the eyes. Now, it's able to do this pretty accurate within the 20 degrees. Anything beyond that, it starts having issues. At 45 degrees in any axis, Dlib isn't able to do it. So the next step is to do research to figure out how do I train something for full body detection, full 360. And the way I'm going to test it is the same thing that I did with Dlib here, but instead of the monkey only being able to rotate in 20 degrees, the monkey would be able to rotate 360, and hopefully I can find something that's advanced enough to understand the three-dimensionality of the monkey. So that is the next step. So thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for next month, and hopefully by next month, I'll have an update about the next steps.